Hello, gentle viewers. This is Avguardian welcoming you back to Out of the Park Baseball 26 with the Colorado Rockies. If you didn't see it already, I posted a quick video about why I'm hyped for Out of the Park Baseball 27, so feel free to give that one a look if you'd like. I posted that on Valentine's Day. And in case you're wondering, is there trouble at home? There isn't. Um, my wife happened to be taking a nap after breakfast, so that's where we are. Welcome everybody to this particular franchise. I still don't know how we won the World Series last season. I'm gonna take it. It was very exciting, but I don't expect it to happen again. We're just not built for it. One thing I want to do before we get into it is I talked about the transaction history screen in my previous video. I wanted to very quickly show you what it looks like here. Click on Manager's Office, and no, it's under the transaction log, isn't it? No, that's not it. It's in the big one that has all your trades in it. Is it this one here? Yeah, so one thing that they added was added a new trade thing, which I thought was very exciting. It's in here somewhere, guys. I did promise to show you this as well, by the way, so I'll do that here in a second. It's in there now. Where is the flippin' transaction history screen? I had a point to make, and now I can't make it, and I'm very salty about that. The trade log, that's what I wanted. I knew I would get there. Oh, I guess it's always done it this way. Wild. I always remember being like in the pill form where it's like collapsed, but this is much better. It's much cleaner and easier to see. I'd love this to have more filters, and maybe we'll get that someday. But anyways, let's talk about this series, and in particular the decisions that we've made here. Did I miss any comments from last week? I don't think so. I don't believe that I did, but it doesn't hurt to check. That's what I always tell people, it never hurts to check. So one thing that I wanted to also talk about is kind of a future channel thing is I think there's a very reasonable chance that I only go to one video, one OTP video, excuse me, per week next fiscal year. And next calendar year. No, I'm stupid. My brain is not braining right now. I beg your pardon. When OTB 27 releases, I will probably only go to one video a week for Out of the Park Baseball. There's a couple reasons for that, because I'm mulling this one over for a while. The first and most important is I like lots of video games. I don't just like Out of the Park Baseball. And I want to see lots of people getting to enjoy other games too. That's the number one reason. The number two reason is I don't want to get burned out on Out of the Park Baseball. This is the first year in all of my plays of Out of the Park Baseball I've never played it offline. Meaning I've never played it outside the context of a video, whether it was my new Baseball 101 series or the White Sox or the Rockies series. And it's not because I don't love the game, it's just because I would be like, oh, I could play Out of the Park Baseball, or I could play something else. So like Expedition 33, for example. That's why I didn't play this game quite as much. So yeah, so when the new OTP rolls out, I will, as always, have coverage the day that it releases. Then what I shall do is I will have just a Friday Out of the Park Baseball video, and then on Mondays, I'll have something else. When the mood catches me. So I know some of you might be bummed about that, but it should hopefully help keep OTP more fresh for me and make me more excited to play it. And also let me play it offline, so that I'm not burning out on it like I kind of did this season. This series in particular is really rough, just because of how limited we've been. What I could do at this point is I could say we've achieved the challenge. We did what we said we were going to do. It only took us 18 seasons to win, only using players that had never played in the major leagues before, except for me. However, I think the challenge is interesting enough, but I want to keep going with it. I especially want to see if we can repeat with whatever this shit is. Yeah. What a wild ride last year was. I don't think we're going to be able to catch lightning in a bottle twice, but I certainly want to try. Okay. Off-season updates. This lineup is going to look very familiar to last year's lineup. We did not have a very busy off-season. We'll put it that way. AJ Dubé is back in. I still don't think he's all that great, but I realize he didn't get more than like 165 plate appearances. This is never going to be a true test of somebody's actual value. You need to let him cook a little bit. I'll say the fact that he's an on-base machine to go with Yasukawa. Yasukawa, by the way, will almost certainly be leaving his contract. He's not aging particularly well. He is getting worse at offense, although last year wasn't too bad, actually. Maybe we just let him cook for a little bit longer, but I don't want to get trapped with him because his skills are just what they are. He's going to get on base a lot. He might hit the occasional double and even some homers, but he's not going to have sustained batting average, which hurts him when he does, like the previous season when he hit 213. So Yasukawa might be on the way out. Monroe is great. Poulsen is great. Mick Martin, I'd love for him to be the 2040 version again. That may not be realistic. All these guys are here before. Will Meyer gets to open the year with the team. I think in his limited experience last year, I think he's got some pretty good skills that I'm enticed to see more of. I like the low strikeout rate. One of the things I'm coming to value a little bit more in OOTP 26 than I did in previous versions is how important it is to keep your strikeout rates manageable. It's okay to have one or two guys that have big thumpers that strike out quite a bit, but a guy like a Jeff Poulsen is far more valuable. A guy that just doesn't strike out very much so that his power comes into play a lot more frequently. Jake Miller, this is your last chance, my friend. Many things could happen this year. He could strike out 50% of the time, but still like 50 home runs, which would be great. Travis Cooper is back. He did have a bit of a down season last year, but I think we need to look at it in the proper context, which is that he's had really incredible seasons, and we should not expect. This is not the real Travis Cooper. This is more honestly probably the real Travis Cooper. I'd like to see more of a balance to what we had in 2038, where the bat was a little bit closer to league average. But he's here to play great defense, and he's here to steal bases. As long as he's still doing both of those things, and he's still useful to me. And then David Hunt is back at catcher because I genuinely couldn't find anybody better. Pitching, these are all names we know and love by now. Ricardo Jaquinde is back after a pretty good sophomore season that we can be excited about. David Bennett is going to go into the rotation. This is a bit of a risk, but I think it's one I'm ready to take now. Jose Arguello is rapidly becoming just a really dependable arm who took a very, very team-friendly extension. He'll probably never be like a 5-WAR pitcher, but he's really solid. He's fairly durable, and he's cheap, and that's a great combination for me. Ruben Santa Cruz, the old man of the rotation, came back at a greatly reduced salary, which I thoroughly appreciated, and gets time to build a bridge to the next great Rockies starter, whoever that may be. Bullpen, I think, is identical to last year, except for Jason Nish getting more pitching experience, maybe. I think Macias is new. We got Macias through the Rule 5 pick. I think Macias had a chance to be a starter. That's why I grabbed him. But for now, he's just going to sit in the back of the bullpen and hang out and stretch out his arm a bit. Will Levy is now the world's most expensive middle reliever. There is zero chance that I execute his option. If he wants to come back for a lot less money to still be a useful pitcher and like specific circumstances, then that's great, and we'll do that. I also want to make him a long reliever too, by the way. But that's not what he's here for. He's just here to be a dude. and offer us some potential veteran experience. But he will not be starting a game for me again. His stamina is almost gone. He's not the same dude anymore. He's still useful. He's still a good pitcher, but he's just too expensive to keep around at his current rate. We have a lot of money to spend. This could be a good time to beef up someone else's contract. I'm thinking specifically of Mark Monroe. His contract's going to get real expensive real fast because he's been so incredible at the major league level. I think his skill set is going to age quite well. I think there's a real chance, though, we get him a longer contract, except for this word here. He is fragile. The fact that he's fragile gives me a little bit of concern. It's not excessive concern. He's still going to stay with the Rockies, but it means I'm not quite as willing to just rip open my wallet right now and hand him all the money. A lot of these guys, I don't know if they're going to make the team in a meaningful way. I think Sarmiento for a medium-term contract makes sense. He's done nothing but produce at the major league level. Even if he's not necessarily like a top-tier ace, I think he's pretty solid. So I think getting him, buying out his arbitration years, if we can do so at a relative discount, makes a lot of sense to me. But also, he's only had 2 good years, so maybe we pump the brakes and see what he's rocking coming forward here. Crawford's got a good deal. McMartin, question mark. Anderson, question mark. Waite, question mark. Calderon and Hunt, question mark. Jeff Polson I like a little bit more than Monroe because he is durable and he's put together 2 exceptional seasons back to back. What is Mr. Polson looking like in a long-term deal? Just do this lovely little, let's ask for like 6 years maybe. This is a lot of money, but it's not an unacceptable amount of money. Can I get a team option in year 30? You know what? This is fine. $20 million is basically not that hugely important to me. I know Monroe's going to want more, and we're just going to let Monroe cook. What does Monroe's contract look like before I make any decisions about whether he's being reasonable or not? I like the beginning of this. I think it's too long, and I don't have any protection here. This is a deal much more palatable to me. Either he'll continue to be amazing, or I can get out of the contract if it becomes really disturbing. He wants more term. Oh wait, he wants more money right now? Interesting. I'm not going to confirm it. No, we're going to let that deal cook, so to speak. I'm not going to withdraw the offer, but I'm not going to give him that much money up front. I think that's very foolish to me. Let's see how this year goes, and if he does have another excellent year, then we can make that a thing. Do you have any interesting backups? Gabriel Avila is our backup catcher again. He had an okay year last year. Oscar Arguelles finally makes the opening day roster purely because of the fact he's out of options. I still am not nearly as excited about him when I traded for him, where I thought he could be a starting third baseman. I mean, Wilmer Crudile is actually proven to be a pretty effective pitcher, so this makes it look kind of dumb. Oh, speaking of things to make me look dumb, I did say that I would talk about this. My apologies. Top 15. Yeah. Good old Rodney Green didn't really make it, but Travis Cooper certainly did. That's one of my best deals. And this deal looked pretty stupid. Mostly because James Quinn Irons literally never played in the major leagues for me. If we look at the expanded info here, it looks like Matt Barr was actually a pretty solid pitcher who's still pitching to this day. So that deal looks pretty stupid. That looks like kind of a dumb choice. Um, I'm not sure this one looks so bad. I wonder if it's just because Arguello needs to step it up a bit. It's possible Eric Riddick was something phenomenal, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just we just need these guys to rack up some more skills. I mean, I'm glad that Santiago Leon had a pretty decent career and is still playing. I liked him a lot. He was just getting a little bit too rich for my blood. Yeah, Shrek never ended up being very good. Miguel Archuleta unironically hurts a lot because he would be very tasty in this current lineup. Like, Danny Roque was also exceptional, so it's not like it was totally a waste of time, but yeah, having his bat would have been pretty nice. Already one of my dumbest trades, oh dear. I got Crudile and then turned around and traded him because I thought we really needed Arguelles, and it turned out I was very wrong. Yeah. Losing Matt Barr and Archuleta hurt a lot. Ryan Ritter was the same. Yeah. I remember Colin Ritchie. He's quite a good player. One of my best trades over here. Will Levy, currently the best player I've ever acquired, which doesn't surprise me. Not really anyway. Yasukawa is way up there too, as is Santa Cruz. Cooper through trade, a lot of draft picks there. Is Begin still pitching? He is pitching for Milwaukee, but he's a shadow of his former self. Cam Canarella is retired. Bryant Milam is retired. We knew that for both of them. Carlos Martinez is still hanging around, but he's still not very good. So that was the correct trade here. We haven't had very many superstars in this one. Is Will Levy a Hall of Famer? If you squint really hard, he's got a case. Possibly. Potentially. Conceivably. But I don't think it's very realistic that he would be in the Hall of Fame. Because his career just... His peak is fine, but I don't think he's going to age very well. He's already lost his stamina. And so I'm fairly confident that he's not going to add too much of this war total. And a shout out to Razorhawk, who posted on last week's White Sox video. Sorry, the week before that, to ask for this. So here you go, my friend. Hope you're enjoying all the decisions that I've made here. I think what we've done very, very well is developed a lot of useful players, but I don't think we have a single Hall of Famer in the bunch. Yasukawa could still get there, I suppose. He's a 32 WAR, but he needs to basically play for another 5 to 10 years, and I just don't know that he's got it in him, but maybe he does. We'll find out either way. Let's go. Let's play some baseball, my friends. We did get Poulsen. Fans are pretty happy about that. I didn't think that would be a difficult contract to sign. I definitely am going to sign Mark Monroe. That's not the question. The question is, what do I do with Mark Monroe? Oh, game. Just because I look at a retired player doesn't mean I want you to reset my scouting stuff. If you could not do that, I would be so excited for that. All right, I've got to make room in AAA, and it looks like nobody is injured. I think the guy who's 27 years old, he's a reasonably good shortstop. There's a future where Bill Gaston has meaningful plate appearances for us. Scott Avalos, much less so. Scott, I'm afraid you're going to have to depart. It just be like that sometimes. I'm sorry. Guys, you just need to get 89 wins again. Clearly, that's our target. Because if we win 89 wins, we're guaranteed to win the World Series. Wonder my throat is scratchy. I haven't even opened up my bottle of water yet. I see people getting worse, which makes me sad. I don't like seeing people get worse, but I guess it's fun. Rafael Diaz getting a touch better is kind of fun. Kevin Bresser's getting worse. Donald Basham's getting better. Bresser I've got a lot riding on in a lot of different ways. I really hope he keeps building on his success in now Double A. Because I think he can be a really nice addition to our rotation. There was a time when I was so excited. Remember when we drafted Jeremy Brewer and we're like, this guy's going to be the fucking greatest, and then he just wasn't? Yeah, that happens a lot in baseball. Most of these people moving around the margins, it might have an impact and it might not. Jim Sellers already ended his season, so haha, I guess. Man, I should never give him the contract that I did. It's not that injurious, but we are paying a lot of money for a guy that I should not have kept. Eric Pickett is gone. Poor Eric Pickett. Anything crazy to talk about yet? Not really. We're just going to keep it going, guys. Just keep it on, keep it on. I just thought we just scored 15 runs in a game. That's pretty exciting. I think this lineup is very capable of bursts of high quality, but I don't think it's capable of consistent high quality. Denny to last, you're going back to the minors, and it's purely because I just trust Jonathan Anderson that much. He's been the utility guy here for quite a while, and I'd like him getting more opportunities here. Every 5 games is fine. I don't mind Calderon getting more experience, but I also want to let Will Meyer have lots of experience, so I think once every 6 games is reasonable. Calderon is a very, very useful reserve, but his real value is something happens to Travis Cooper. I have a center fielder that I can rely upon. Cooper's been a pretty durable guy for the most part. We give him lots of breaks, which I think helps too. But that's why Calderon is still here. That's why I would probably consider not Santa Claus. I didn't give him his proper nickname, right? There we go. Will Meyer's going to miss a day with a sore calf muscle. I felt the same way after I played miniature golf a few weeks ago. All right, we got to get rid of some people, looks like. Ricky Beltran and Manny Rincon. We'll start with him. Manny Rincon just kind of sucks. Ricky Beltran, I don't really need 4 catchers at 1 level. That seems excessive. Then we need Silvera and more. Where the hell even are they? Am I dumb? No, I'm not dumb. There's more. Get out of here, loser. Here's Silvera. Silvera's nothing special. We can say goodbye to him. And then I think we had one more guy, Tom Corman. Tom Corman's nothing that great. Okay. I want to make some room now. I want to get some people promoted up. Jorge Hernandez, I think, could be promoted quite profitably. Let's send him up to high A. Pat Fletcher, the man we're forcing to learn third base. He will learn that in the rookie league. I'm not going to promote him for that. Tristan Edwards can join us in high A. I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable decision here. A lot of these guys have just never played yet, so I'm loath to promote them to this degree yet. I don't think there's anybody here that I want to promote yet. Yeah. We'll see some roster spots open in case we want to save somebody from A-ball. Our problem now is that the back end, the low minors are actually starting to empty for us. Oh, wow. That's like half the fucking roster. Nobody here is that great. Alright. If you've got a hash mark by your name and you're not at least a 35 overall, you're about to go. I'll promote Mergeni. He looks pretty solid. David Martinez, I apologize to you. I think he just promoted 2 people, which is whatever. This is going to be a wild amount of turnover. Mario Iglesias can be promoted. He's pretty solid. Yeah, let's just start grabbing people here and saying goodbye to them. Anyone that's got the hash mark indicating that they're eligible to be a minor league free agent, other than Mike King, is gonna be cut. And then I guess we just promote up a whole bunch of rookies. There's like somebody's entire minor league franchise in some ways, which is kind of funny. Yeah, you guys are all cut. Look how pathetic this looks. Mike King, you get promoted. Alright. Let's start promoting the older guys here. If you're 20 years old, you get promoted. And then go back to your back position here. Went over 20 here. Yep. You all get promoted. I went over 20 here. Yep. You guys get promoted too. There we go. Sorted. Jose Soto is not eligible for the league anymore. Okay, fine. Goodbye. Thank you and good luck. Okay, Yasukawa's out for 6 to 7 weeks. That is not ideal. And I think this is going to be Bill Gaston's chance to actually play meaningful games. Or Anderson. Actually, maybe it should be Jimmy Anderson. I need to compare the two of them. But Gaston, at a bare minimum, makes the roster. Let me compare you two. Anderson is the much better hitter. Much, much better. Defensively. It's very, very close. Anderson has slightly more range. Gaston has a much better arm. I think that means it's Anderson's time to play shortstop for us. But he's not going to lead off. That's for certain. Dubé can lead off. And then I guess Will Myers having a pretty decent season. We can move him up in the lineup. Unless like Martin's having a great year. McMartin's having a fantastic year, but he can also just stay where he is. Let's try Cooper hitting second. Let's see what this does for us. And then that way we can slot Anderson in right here. He's like, finally I get my chance to play. Like, you know what? You do get a chance to play. Good job, buddy. All right. And I think this is what's going to cost him the Hall of Fame. He just keeps getting hurt, and then makes him very difficult to trust. Very, very difficult to trust. I'd like to aggressively look for a shortstop prospect. Losing Meyer for 3 weeks actually kind of sucks a lot. What if you didn't get hurt? What if that happened? We could try Troy Schroyer. I want him to get... Oh, he's already pretty great in left field. Okay, noted. Whoever gets called up is going to be a backup. It's either going to be Castellanos or Trice. I suppose it's better to have Trice because he's better at center field. And then the new starting left fielder is going to be Calderon. I think that's an appropriate decision to make here. Unfortunately, Calderon's having a pretty great year in his own right, so I'm pretty happy about that, but I would prefer to have Meyer because I think Meyer just has more upside. Every 6 games is fine. Aaron Hunter is player of the week. That's kind of fun. 2 weeks for Jonathan Anderson. What the shit, guys? Quit injuring my shortstops. I'm frankly just gonna keep Anderson on the roster unless he gets worse and let Gaston just play shortstop. Because I don't really have another shortstop that I trust. But I guess I have Danny Teles. Danny Teles is okay as an infielder, but he's not a shortstop. Maybe I just do put him on the IL, and then we let Danny Teles return. And then playing a shortstop will be Gaston, because I definitely trust him more than I trust Teles to play short. Teles is a good infielder, he's not a shortstop. Not a real shortstop anyway, so... Welcome to the team, Gaston. The revolving door that is shortstop for the Colorado Rockies will be like Spinal Tap drummers. I have not seen the new This Is Spinal Tap movie. If you've seen it and you enjoyed it, let me know in the comments, I guess. I really like the first one, so if it turns out that the new one is also good, I'll be pleased to hear that. Very, very pleased. Meyer is rookie somehow. Does Will Meyer count as a rookie? Evidently, maybe he does. Heineman got better. Jorge Hernandez is starting to look mighty fine now. I guess he always looked good. Cool. Sean Reynolds got himself a nice little boost in potential. Some nice little TCR there makes him a very valuable pitcher in a way that he wasn't just a few weeks ago. Yeah, Will Meyer is in fact a rookie. Okay. Cool deal. Dubé isn't the best. Dubé is trying very hard. I think he gets one more month. One more month to show that he is as good as he claims to be. Polson's average isn't the best, but he's still clubbing baseballs, which is his job. So I'm pretty happy about that one. Mark Monroe continues to excel. Ken McMartin is back to his old self. So last year being the aberration makes me really happy because having another great outfielder just makes us a better team. Even Jake Miller's behaving himself, which was nice to see. He's now exactly replacement level. I could probably replace him under the right circumstances here. I do like both Hedgecock and in particular Zelaya. I want Zelaya to get a little bit more experience, but this is the man that's going to take Jake Miller's job, or possibly AJ Dubé's job. But let's get you a little more experience in AAA. But you'll be in the majors before you know it. Oh, how's the pitching going? David Bennett is struggling a little bit. It's because of the walks, which you kind of always knew were going to be an issue. He's still being productive. He's just maybe not what we ideally want, but this is acceptable. That's an acceptable season. Jaquinde is actually a little bit less acceptable because these walks are just ridiculous. There's no earthly reason why he should be allowing this many walks. Because it's so weird given his skill set, I'm hoping that he'll figure this out. When that number starts dropping, he'll become that much more effective. Santa Cruz is holding his own here. He's actually not pitching that well, but he's getting very lucky, and sometimes that's all you need. He's just not getting hit. His BABIP is very, very, very low. So I'll take it for now that I have a rubber arm guy in the back of the rotation, but it's noted that he's not anything special. Not a ton of innings for anybody in the bullpen yet. Dave Crawford looks amazing. Phil Harbour looks really good, and then other guys are struggling a little bit more. But we're in okay shape. No drastic changes needed. Bill Gaston, I just don't have any shortstops left, so better for better or worse. You're the guy right now. And let's simulate a bit farther ahead. Another 2 weeks for Jonathan Anderson. That's more time for Bill Gaston, I suppose. Maybe Bill Gaston came after him. Very possible. Paul Trice, get out of here. Or is that Jake Miller, get out of here? In 600 plate appearances, he just strikes out too much. I think it is Jake Miller, get out of here. Who is the worst defending outfielder that I've got? They're all really good. I'm gonna make Will Meyer the DH because somebody has to do it. No, that's not true. He's much better than McMartin. He's much, much better than McMartin. Fine. Yeah. This isn't because McMartin is a bad outfielder. This is because Will Meyer is an excellent one. So that's kind of what we're looking at here. And you can be right field, I guess. And let's regenerate the depth chart here to reflect the new realities. Ken McMartin... Oh, Calderon is still backing up inside. I was going to say Ken McMartin should never be playing center field. He could kind of handle it, but we just have so many better center fielders that I think this is appropriate. Do I try to trade Jake Miller? Is that a thing that I'm willing to do? Probably. Probably I'm good with trading Jake Miller. Travis Cooper could also just get hurt for 4 weeks, and then Calderon plays center, and we're back to where we started. I think this is Sean Zelaya's debut in the major leagues at this point. I think he's got nothing left to learn in the minors, and this way we're in very good shape. Okay. Who's going to hit second of my options here? Definitely Will Meyer is the guy that I... No, it's Calderon, isn't it? Mostly because of Calderon's speed, he can beat kind of like Travis Cooper. And you're going to play center field now. Will Meyer shifts over to left. McMartin plays right. Who's the better defender? Is it Dubé or Zelaya? It's about the same, so then Zelaya can come in here and DH. A lot of young guys are getting a lot of experience this season, which I'm very in favor of. Why is Paul Trice considered so incredible that he needs lots of extra playing time? I guess I don't mind Calderon getting the occasional break, but I do worry that it's not the best fit. But I guess Trice is quite good against left-hand or right-handed pitching, rather. So I guess that's a reason to play him a bit more. I don't know, but I don't mind that much that he's getting some extra experience. Dave Crawford's gonna miss a day. That's fine. A lot of people getting injured of late, which is not the greatest. Jonathan Anderson can return, thank fuck, because Bill Gaston has just been meh. Between keeping Gaston or keeping Teles, I think we get rid of Oscar Arguelles. I think this is always... Arguelles is doing well in pinch hitting, though. And that's a valuable skill that's harder to replace than just demoting Teles or Gaston. If I demote Gaston, I have nobody that can play shortstop well. I guess Teles... In an emergency, I like Teles better than Gaston, so I think we demote him and then bring Anderson back. And then Mr. Anderson here can shortstop it up for a while. And that looks fun. Monroe missing a week with back tightness. I'm going to bench him for 7 days. Monroe is so important to the way this game works that I think letting him be benched for 7 days is fine with me. It's not a punishment. This is, I don't want him playing so that he doesn't injure himself more badly. Do we bring Yasukawa back? Of course we do. But I think we rehab him first. Because, and I hate to be that guy, there's a very realistic chance that he injures himself again while he's rehabbing. And then this problem solves it. That's exactly what happened. I don't know what to do about you, bro. Yasukawa might have to go at this point. It pains me in every conceivable way that a guy as good as Yasukawa might be done already in his career, but he cannot stay healthy. And that's really bad. That's really stinky. But here we are. Alright, personal message. Nothing too crazy happening here. Yakinde is getting better. Levy's getting even worse with stamina. Calderon is getting better at power, which is kind of nice. Mike Mullet is getting worse. Kamani Lyons is getting worse. John Castro is getting better, but he's not getting better in an appreciable way. He's just better at baseball, I guess. Jake Miller is getting better, but he still strikes out too much. Nice. Jose Carrasco casually adds a new pitch. Rich Morton is a tiny bit worse, but not appreciably so. Melvin Martinez is looking better and better with each passing day. I love it. Alright, we're going to take a dance break, so to speak. But actually a dance break. And we're going to start making some promotions in the minor leagues. I think this is overdue. We're going to start with AA guys having a great season that need more attention. Actually, I don't think there's enough. I don't think we have enough stats yet. Yeah, we don't. All right, we're just gonna hang out for another month then. I don't want to rush it. AJ, my dude, you suck. I don't know why you suck as bad as you do, but you suck. You've had 600 plate appearances, more or less. No, actually, about 550. This is just who you are, and who you are isn't very good. Um, I don't know why you can't hit for average. Like, your skills say that you should be able to hit for average, but you just don't. And because you don't, nothing else about your game is good enough. What does his official profile say? He should be an average major league starter. He just isn't. And I'm beginning to think that if we looked at OSA thinks OSA likes him quite a lot. I can't do it anymore. I can't let him play in this lineup if he's going to continue to suck as bad as he does. I'm not saying the rest of the lineup is full of luminaries who are all definitely Hall of Famers someday, but they're at least capable, and that's something that I simply cannot say about AJ Dubé. We're going to trade him. I don't know if I'm going to get anything good for him, but I'm tired of letting him just struggle. He isn't on the struggle bus, he is the struggle bus. Is there any interest in Mr. Dubé for a tasty prospect or two? We're getting some offers here. Let's look at... Oh, it should be all players, in fact. But I want to look at a package. I would love 2 greens, but I would settle for a green and a yellow. If it's the right green and the right yellow. I see. So this is a salary dump for him. It's going to hand you a giant stack of money. Andy Martino is genuinely bad. Like, he's an okay infielder, but his offensive skill set is trash. This is not the kind of guy you can rely on. Eric Garcia is better, but this is not a good return. Steve Smith, huh? He's a really good pitcher. I like him a lot, especially because he's a lefty. Devin Hancock is an okay pitcher. Brett Pate is acceptable. I could see this deal happening. I think we take this trade, but I see if I can maybe get a little bit more out of you. Oh, I see. The reason I'm getting good people is because they're desperate. They need money. They need the money. Josh Hennessy would be awfully nice, but I'm pretty sure you're just going to laugh hysterically in my face, which you should be. I just want more prospects. Jesus Burgos is an okay hitter. He's just only a first baseman. Let me ask about this offer here. I get Travis Cooper back, which I'm kind of excited about. I'm going to let Cooper go ahead and rehab, I think is the correct choice here. Oh, did I actually get a response? I might not have gotten a... Oh, you got an almost here? You're wanting really, really good players to make this deal happen, and I'm not prepared to do that. So I'll drop Burgos and ask for this offer again. Watch now that fucking AJ Dubé's like arm explodes or something. No, you've decided you still want something really good for this, and I'm not willing to do that. I mean, I guess a guy that's a 41 overall pitcher isn't particularly exciting. You can have Zach Chatterton. That's fine. Can I get Burgos if I add in Chatterton? I do like Burgos' bat a lot, and I think he's got potential to be a pretty useful DH. That is a trade that you will take. Done. So Dubé is a former Rocky, as is Chatterton. I cleared up a roster spot. All is good. The reason I'm not adding anybody is because I'm just going to give Yasukawa the spot. And he's also going to be the leadoff guy. So for right now, I suppose I need to put someone in that lineup spot. Arguelles, you're in. Enjoy your time as our new first baseman, I suppose. This is quite literally just long enough for Yasukawa to get healthy, and then we'll adjust from there. It's a weird choice, but Arguelles has actually been very effective this year, so I think letting him lead off isn't a terrible idea. Combine. I'm going to click here. I'm going to do this. He's overbooked. Remove. And done. Jose Morales and Mario Tatuan. I can just promote him. I don't care. Jose Morales is kind of shit. We can let him go. Yasukawa, get your ass back on the rehab assignment. Like, I'm not even going to consider bringing you back until you can finish it. We're reasonably humming along right now, so I should have kept my mouth shut, guys. I'm so sorry. That's entirely my fault. So Cooper returns, Calderon shifts over, and Cooper plays center. That happens. Calderon, you can play right field. I'm going to move people up in the lineup, and then I'm going to say that Cooper plays eighth. I think that's fun. What if the entire team is made of captains? Good question. There's that sorted. Like how Arguelles is his own. I like how he is his own person. Okay, people are happy for the most part. With this lineup, I think we definitely give a raise to our hitting coach for sure. I think he's definitely earned. How's our chemistry is happy. I don't like messing with it unless there's very clearly a better choice. Gary, you teach patience, so do I. Welcome to sticking around. Parker Quinn. Parker genuinely does nothing for this team right now. I think letting him walk is probably fine, and I can give somebody else an opportunity. Yeah, I think that's what I do here. I think we let him say goodbye. I could also let my bench coach go, but I think my bench coach is really, really good at teaching catching, and so I would rather keep him than keep my first base coach. So yeah, Parker Ginn, you can find yourself a new franchise to coach for. Matt Yorkin is phenomenal in every sense of the word. He very well could be our new first base coach, so we definitely want to try to keep him if he's willing to stay. Straight up Yorkin it. Pedro Gonzalez, we definitely want to keep as well. That man needs a raise, so he'll get it. And then what about Tommy McLean? Tommy McLean can very easily be replaced. Tommy McLean is nothing special, so we can replace him without too much of a hassle. So, Mr. Ginn, thank you for your service to the Rockies. I hope you have a successful career elsewhere, but for me, not so much. Pardon me. You can play with a concussion. It's fine. I think we do go ahead and bring Yasukawa back, though. No, I want another outfielder. Is what I want. It could be Schroyer time. It could be Jake Miller returns time, or it could just be Yasukawa time. I think it's Yasukawa time. Jonathan Anderson, thank you so much for your service as an everyday shortstop, but Yasukawa is just better than you are. It's nothing personal. I kind of like this weird energy where Arguelles is our leadoff guy. But I think Arguelles could play second just as profitably, and Yasukawa can lead off. I think that's probably better for us. I don't want Calderon that low in the lineup, but I don't want him playing super high either. So I think having him play where he is perfectly fine. I mean, I guess the correct answer here is actually letting Zelaya recover, right? But it's fine. In before his head just explodes. I have 1,500 wins. That's pretty exciting. Danny Tles is going to miss a week. Yasukawa's hurt already? What the hell, bro? Have you considered not being injured all the time? Have you considered that possibility? My gas, they're flabbered, my friends. Danny Tles is going to be out for another week. Okay, fine. Elias Uribe, that's rude. You're not allowed to hit home runs against me. It's in the Rockies constitution that no other teams can play well against me. Nothing too crazy happening here. Mostly people like hovering around the same skill level. John Castro is getting much better, but he still has the control issues that make me concerned. Jesus Burgos looks like he could be a winner. Alright. Sean Zelaya got Rookie of the Month, despite being injured. Truly one of the decisions of all time. Okay, we have July now. We means we have around 200 plate appearances so for each of my minor league systems. How long is David Hunt out for? Oh, he's got food poisoning. That's rough, buddy. That is El Roof. Pitching looks good, but not great. David Bend is still not getting his walks under control. And I think that's really, really hurting him as a pitcher. The rest of this is fine. He's not giving up that many hits. He's getting good strikeouts, but he just keeps walking people, which is not like him. Maybe it's time to swap him out. The bullpen has not been particularly effective, especially Dorian Waite. Dorian just decided walking people would be fun this season. He's also just getting hit. He's getting hit really hard. I think as long as Dave Crawford is doing very well, I think we're probably okay. Phil Harbor is not pitching that well. He probably needs to be given a little bit less. He's giving up home runs, which is not good. Okay, Tom Remy, get in here as a setup guy. Phil Harbor, get out of here as a setup guy. Jason Nish has been given 43 innings to pitch well, and he just isn't doing it. I think he just needs more seasoning. Who's the next man up in the bullpen? It might actually be Pete Wellborn's time to actually get a chance to pitch. My problem is that I have 3 reasonably good starters, but the starters aren't the ones struggling. It's the bullpen that's really struggling. I mean, Jaquinde hasn't been great. Yeah, let's get Jaquinde into the minors. Let's start with that. Let's get you to work on your shit. Oh, I'm definitely not waiving you, so I guess you get to stay no matter what, Jaquinde. Well, good on you. Good timing on your part. Arguello's been pretty solid. I guess you could demote Bennett and then call up either Castro or Hagwood. Hagwood's having the much better season. Let's try it. Let's let Bennett cook a little bit longer and bring up Hagwood. And then Jason Nish can go to the minors. And we can bring up... fuck it. We invested a lot in Pete Wellborn being an incredible pitcher. I think it's his time to pitch in the majors now. Is Macias good enough to start? He could be, maybe, but I think it's going to be Hagwood. Santa Cruz, you're still starting, but you're just my 4th starter. And then Hagwood can come in and pitch 5th. And Wellborn can give us some middle relief work. Yeah, a max quality version of Pete Wellborn really gives us a bullpen that just can't be stopped in the postseason. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here. Also a 12th round draft pick, which is pretty fun. Rustos looks okay. Lineup is acceptable for the present. We're not going to worry about that. Team schedule is not that important to me, but I'm not going to question it at the moment. What I will do is go up to the All-Star break. Bobby Valencia is poop. That's a technical term. He's just stinky. Dave Crawford made the All-Star team and nobody else. That seems sus. I know I'm not the best team in the league, but one singular All-Star seems very rude. Like, Ken McMartin or Mark Monroe definitely should be making the All-Star team. Why aren't they? Because you carried like 7 first basemen. What the actual fuck? What? How does this make any sense at all? I get that it's an exhibition, but your clever decision to carry only first baseman is like, huh? You'd rather have Sergio Lopez than Mark Monroe? What? I mean, yay for Dave Crawford getting recognition. It's his first All-Star appearance, so has been one of the better relievers in the league for a long time. But, huh? The AL was fucking smart. They have actual balance in their team. Why the hell are we carrying 7 first basemen? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I apologize. 9 first basemen. I give up. I cannot fathom what leads such madness. Are the veins just that delusional? Mark Moreau finished second in fan voting. He should have made it, in my opinion. Gilberto Maciel is legitimately an MVP caliber player. He's not the guy I take issue with. It's the nine. It's the 9 first baseman. I give up. I give up. We're just not going to question it. How did the All-Star game actually go? The National League won 5-1. What? Was like 10,000 errors for having first baseman play second? Not even one. That's banana. And Dave Crawford didn't even get to pitch. Sure. That's fine. Everything's fine. Everything is fine. We're just gonna soak it in, guys. We're gonna soak it in. I've got loads of money. Loads and loads and loads of money. Nick Silva is not that guy. This is me hit ball hard, and that's it. Nick Silva's a hard pass for me. Tony Jerome is not. Tony Jerome is definitely going to be a Colorado Rocky. 100%. Get in my organization, friend, immediately. I don't know what your final position is. I suspect it's first base. I suspect you'd be an acceptable third baseman for a bit. But I like your offensive skill set a great deal. I think you're going to be very successful in the major leagues. We say Eddie Posner is impossible. I don't want Eddie Posner. I don't want Eddie Posner. Adam Pilot I do quite like, actually. But not a huge amount. You want me to take Adam Pilot? I suppose I can do that. I wish he was a better catcher, but he's not terrible at it, and he's got really good skills, so I guess we can take him. Fine. Draft Picarinos. I just don't want Eddie Posner. There's nothing about him that interests me. Ken Jenkins does interest me a little bit more, but again, he still has the big strikeout rates. Who else do we like here? We like John Brink. I also like John Brink. John Brink, welcome to the Rockies. They're minerals, Marie. A lot of impossible guys here. That doesn't stop me. If I get the right player, then that's all I care about. I like George Bryant quite a lot, actually. He's a switch hitter. Nice gap power, good secondary skills. I think he could be very successful. George, welcome to the team. I got money for days, nerds. Brian Porter. He's another guy who's a very good hitter but doesn't have a position. I think it's a 5th round draft pick. I'm perfectly content with that. I'd rather get great hitters that might learn how to play defense, which is possible, right? Like, it's possible he figures it out. We like Matt Farber, do we? I do think I should be getting some pitchers, but it seems like he's not a great draft for pitchers. Ray Whitting, I take a pass on. I don't think that grabs me. Dustin Flores is quite nice. I think I could possibly be persuaded to draft him. Let's do it. Let's just give people all of the money. Let's weaponize it. I don't know why I just flagged him as a draft pick. We usually don't do that at this point in the draft, but okay. I gotta get some pitching. This has been a very offense-heavy draft, and I think that's likely to pay off for me quite heavily. But we desperately need pitching into this system, so let's make that happen. I would like pitching potential, please, and I would like whoever's got supreme stuff. Richard Eaton, I think you're the kind of guy I could get happy about. I don't like the fact you give up home runs, but you've got tremendous velocity, okay control. Not gonna. You're a very weird pitcher, but I'm kind of into it. Get on this team, Richard Eaton. That's good eating, is what people might say. Could happen. I think Josiah Harris definitely has an obvious Achilles heel, but I think he's young enough that he might figure it out. And I really, really like his overall skills, so we're going to do it. Let me look at control now, and let me try to grab a starting pitcher that seems like they're going to be really good. How about Corey Hibbard? Probably not. That's a bridge too far for me. I think he's not quite as effective as he should be. Bobby Cashon is unironically pretty decent. Let's grab him. With zero has, I mean, unless Tom Thomas is better. Tom Thomas is acceptable, but he's not great. Plus, I can take Tom Thomas right now if I want, which I will, I guess. All right, let's go back to our scout and let him start having a say again. Jake Pope. May not actually be the Pope, but is a pretty damn impressive hitter. I like it. Welcome to the team, Jake. We like Ryan Gavin, do we? He's fun. We can take Ryan here. Shigeo Matsuoka is pretty decent. I like him quite a lot, actually. But doesn't have a position. I don't care. I'm just going to spend ridiculous quantities of money in this draft. I think that's how we mitigate some of the weaknesses. Randy Pammer seems like a good choice here. I like this a lot. He's not perfect. I don't like the fact he's error prone, but I think in a corner he'd be perfectly serviceable. University of Louisville. We like Ryan Carlson, do we? That's fine. We can have Ryan. We can have a little Ryan Carlson as a treat. I guess I can take Ryan Frick. Harley Ashburn is low-key pretty solid. This is not a third baseman skill set, but I guess it's as much a third baseman as anything else. I kind of like the idea of having somebody that can get through the majors, minors quickly if we need to. You would like me to take Mike Vasquez? Fine. We get 2 more draft picks. What do we got here? I didn't do any toolsy picks this draft, but I think we're getting such great overall skill that I don't think it matters that much. We can take Juan Ramos. And then Robert Buchanan, John Millard. It's 19th century presidents back to haunt us. I don't really like him all that much. What's John Brown's deal? John Brown's deal is he's acceptable, and that's fine. I don't think John Brown would get along well with Robert Buchanan. I'm just saying. Alright, let's get some negotiating happening here. George Bryant, you would like at least $10.5 million. How's about $12 million? What if I gave you that? Dustin Flores would like more than $6 million. $7.5 million it is. It's just money, you guys. It's just money. Shigeo Matsuoka, how much money are you looking for? You want significant of $15 million? I know that I've got the money, but this seems really stupid. But really stupid is kind of my thing. So let's do it. Let's spend $17 million for a 13th round draft pick and just soak it in, man. I spent a ridiculous amount of money in this draft class. I don't know that it's a fantastic one. I think Tony Giron is a wonderful headliner. I think he's really, really good. Really, really good. I love my top five. And then I'm not sure about the rest of it, but yo, as I am told, low. Cameron Haynes, what could possibly make you think I'm interested in your silliness? Will Myers gonna miss a week? It's only a week, so I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't want Josh Schrag. Stop wasting my fucking time. Game. If we could put on the gas a little bit and overtake the Diamondbacks, that would be very beneficial to us. Did my backup catcher get 3 home runs? No. Cool. Well, I did promise I'll wait till the deadline in case I trade some people, like prospects or whatever. Game, just stop. Stop with your ridiculous offers. Nick Aronson is on the move. He's still hanging out. He had a really good year last year, actually. Meh. MEH. Ken McMartin coming back is genuinely enormous. And now I can tell probably Teles to return to the minors. This has been really good, though. So is Anderson. I have so many captains that I think if I can get a good deal for Anderson, I think I'd trade him. I think I'd trade him immediately. So let's put this out on the market. Do the people want some Jonathan Anderson in their lives? No, they don't. Which means it should be able to just demote him and not lose anything of note. So that's acceptable. Ken McMartin, get in here. Now what happens with the lineup? Yeah, Calderon's not playing over McMartin, so we're just gonna casually put McMartin back in the lineup. Because he's been real good. Will Meyer is not hitting as well as he was, so I think we're going to do one of these guys here and then let Meyer hit 7th. I think I feel pretty good about that. Sean Zelaya has been a revelation. I think this is the first baseman we've always wanted, but just never quite achieved. And shout out to Arguelles, who just has been playing incredibly well. Maybe I wasn't so silly to trade for him all those years ago. I'll take it for now. That's 100% the case. Only dumb trade offers being made. It's whatever. Do I have a trade chip people are going to be into? Maybe Jonathan Hedgecock? Is there a market for Mr. Hedgecock here? Are people like, nah, Jonathan Hedgecock is too real for me? That's definitely what's happening here, 100%. I don't really want to trade Anderson because I think he is a capable shortstop in the absence of Yasukawa, who's having a terrible year. But, you know, I need someone else to lead off, don't I? I think I'm just at that point in my career that I need someone else to lead off. I think it's Zelaya. I think Senor Zelaya here is going to lead off for the rest of the year. And Yasukawa just needs to bat way lower. Like if Yasukawa is now I play shortstop good and that's my entire skill set. I can't pick up this option at this point, which is a real tragedy. But he is playing so incredibly poorly that I just and he's also very very frequently injured. I would trade him if I thought I had a shortstop that I could trust in his absence, which presently I don't. Is there a shortstop in my minor league system that I would trust to play every day? I mean, Jonathan Anderson would be fine, at least defensively. He wouldn't be useless. Most of my really good prospects happen to be like first baseman and shit. Oh, I did promise to make some minor league changes, didn't I? Troy Schroyer, low key, is also a possibility to play at least second base for us. He's taken to left field very, very well, which gives me another option, which I'm pretty happy about. Jesus Burgos is a very good hitter that can't actually play position. There's still value in him, but I'm not going to devote too many resources to trying to keep him. Andrew Major just sucks. Let me go ahead and cut him so I can make a AAA promotion here. Who's having the best year in AAA? In AA, rather, excuse me. Not really anybody. I suppose Kevin Bressler is pitching quite well, and I do want to give him an aggressive promotion. So we'll promote him, I suppose. I think the A ball, the AA ball, is going to be a much more lucrative decision-making process here. Oh yeah, David Sosa is worth 4 wins. I want Melvin Martinez promoted. I want John Bailey promoted. Brett Fales misses out. You know what? Can I demote Millet and promote Mormon? I can do, and I will. Rich Morton is badly struggling in AA, which is really unfortunate. I think I'm going to trade Rich Morton. I think I'm going to trade him. Because he's still going to look really good to... Oh, even though OSA doesn't like him anymore, I think we just think the world of him for no real reason. Anybody want Rich Morton? I didn't think they would. I'm just going to go ahead and release him. I just don't think he's got it in him to be a good player. And now I can promote somebody else that is deserving, like Brett Fales or Alex Avila. Avila's about to be hurt anyway. I think we promote Tristan Edwards. And then who's having a great year in low A? Tony Rodriguez, get into high A. Devin Hancock can be promoted. Any hitters? Oh my lord, Chris Saylor has been phenomenal. An 888 slugging percentage. I beg your fucking pardon. Aaron Hunter gets promoted. Sam Bratz gets promoted. How are we doing on catchers, actually? Because I would promote Richard Hindman instead. Oh, we're fine. Okay. I think Dan Sponseller could profitably be released under the right circumstances, but I don't know that I care right now. Let's look at the rookie leagues. Frank Espinal has had 2 consecutive great years in the minors. He can be promoted. Same with Tyrone Hill. 3.7 WAR, Travis Schreiber. Welcome to A-Ball. Jordan Yeager's going to get promoted. Evan Cole is going to get promoted. And Damian Bauknecht gets promoted. There you go. Yeager, I'm really excited about. I'm very, very excited about him. I want to see him thrive in the minors because a guy like this playing any infield position for us is so incredibly good. It's just so incredibly good. Edwin Lucero is thoroughly unremarkable. You know what? I want to give him a big promotion. I want to let him play in high A. This also frees up another spot for Bob Thornton to play in low A. There we go. Guys, we did it. Let me reset to ratings, and then we can proceed onward. What do I have that could get me something interesting? I don't really have very much except for prospects, and I don't want to trade prospects. That strikes me as a very foolish decision to trade prospects. How's Mark Monroe been doing this year? Mark Monroe's been very, very good. He should have been an all-star. It's not his fault that he's not. This is a deal I would take. Let's see if he'll take it. No, he wants a longer deal. This is what I don't like, by the way. Instead of having, oh, you want a reasonable arbitration salary and then a bunch of years extra, it just resets everything. So I'm not going to do that. Mark, I will happily give you your 1 year of arbitration and then we'll revisit the discussion next year. But I'm not going to get suckered into paying you that much money when I'm not even convinced that you're all that special. Yet. We're getting there, though. Sarmiento hasn't been that fantastic this season, but he's been okay. Calderon's fine. Like, in a pinch, if Travis Cooper got hurt, I like him in center field quite a lot. He's not anything truly fantastic. Mark Monroe's going to get a 1 year deal. David Hunt probably deserves a raise. David Hunt has been literally replacement level. I think I probably need to just get a new catcher. I just need to bite the bullet. Dusty Lee is a terrible catcher. I wish he was even a little bit good because I would most definitely promote him. Brett Pate is fine. I could just play Avila at catcher, who's having a pretty good year. I could just swap the two of them. Like Jaramillo and Basham and Brew are all way too. Sorry, Jaramillo is way too young to be in the majors already. So, yeah. Dusty Lee as a hitter is a solid choice. There's a world where Dusty Lee turns out to be a very helpful reserve player for me. But only he'll ever be a starting catcher. I think Avila is highly risky to trust as a starting catcher as well. I think it's just something we need to get better at as a franchise. We need to move some people around and see if we can't find ourselves the catcher of the future somewhere. Mario Iglesias is kind of tempting. As a backup, Iglesias would be my pick. I think he'd be very, very solid at the job. I think David Hunt just gets to keep riding for now because I just don't have a better option. And then we can consider a new catcher in the offseason, potentially. What I'm going to do right now, friends, I'm going to go and take a quick break. So I'm just going to pause my recording, and I'll be back shortly. All right. So, trade deadline stuff. I want a better catcher. I don't think that's a mystery to anybody. But I don't have a better catcher. Like, a better catcher does not exist in this current system unless I'm willing to ruin somebody's development. Brett Pate is fine, but if we quickly compare him to David Hunt, I think we'll find that they're very, very similar without a huge reason to recommend one over the other. So Brett Pate is much better at contact, but David Hunt is much better at power. He's a much better bunter, so clearly it's David Hunt every day. And defensively, he's got a much better arm, does David Hunt, so they're comparable. I guess the secret benefit is that Brett Pate is a switch hitter, which is kind of nice, but I just quite genuinely think that it's not worth it. And Dusty Lee's too bad at catching to risk, although he's not that bad at it. He's just mediocre. And he is a much better hitter. I think Dusty Lee's got some promise, but I don't see. I mean, I guess David Hunt has given me 3 seasons in which exactly one has been above replacement level. Maybe I just need to accept the fact that he's not getting the job done, and I need to move on from him. Is there any market for Mr. David Hunt? That's the question we must ask ourselves as human beings. Probably not. So probably becomes David Hunt goes to the minors. Oh no, we actually are getting some offers here. Okay. It's mostly stuff that doesn't interest me, but it's still something. Like Marco Ramirez. Oh no, we can have him in this save too. I know we got him in the White Sox save. He's still a good prospect, although doesn't have a great arm. Xiaoxin Fong is kind of tasty. He's an okay hitter, okay skills. I'm not going to question his capabilities. I can't have any of these guys because I already played in the majors. If I could get Ramirez and Fong, I think I would definitely take that offer. I would actually take, you know what, let me try to get Leo Ramirez and Xiaoxin Fong. Let me see if that's a thing that can happen. Can I get super greedy and also get Ramirez? You know what? This is worth it to me. I know that David Hunt has been a useful catcher, but he's not an exceptional one, and I think this makes us a better team. You all instantly go to the minors to do minor league things, and then Dusty Lee is going to join us on the major league roster. I think for the present, because he has been good this year so far, I think Avila can take over as the starter, and we can just let Mr. Dusty Lee figure out catching in his own time. Plus, Avila is also a much better defender. Yeah. So we're gonna ride with this. It's a bit of a bold move to take this late into a season where we're already pretty competitive, but I think it's the right move for the future. Mike Mullet, you need to leave. And I think we also say goodbye to Ramon Villanueva to get under the roster cap for AAA. All right, that felt like a reasonably good move. I don't know that we're necessarily better because of it, but we're not worse because of it. And I do think that Avila offers a bit of offensive capabilities here that we were lacking from the catcher spot. I don't trust him to do it consistently, but I do think he is going to be a better than average backup, and we can see how Dusty Lee grows up. I really like this lineup this year. Only really Yasukawa's been a big disappointment. Will Meyer is very impressive for a player his age. Could he be better? Yes, but this is still pretty effective, actually. And I love to see that he is building on his success from last season, and I think he'll be a useful player going forward, too. Don't sleep on his base stealing, by the way. That's a nice little bonus for him. Jeff Paulson might be the GOAT of the Rockies this season. He's a reasonably good third baseman. I don't know why he's not rated higher, unless it's just the fact that his on-base percentage is kind of bad. But he rarely strikes out. He hits for lots of power, and he's even got a decent average. This is exactly what I'm looking for in a third baseman, so... Is he overpaid with his new deal? He will be toward the end of it, but it shouldn't be anything egregious, and we have the money to soak it. Mark Monroe is just really good at baseball, I think is the takeaway there. Honestly, Oscar Arguelles, I don't expect him to ever be this good again, but for right now, I'll take it, because he's been really good. Sean Zelaya has been excellent. We've gotten a lot of unexpected help this season, and I think that makes me pretty happy about it. Let's go ahead and I guess start the trading deadline, but I think my deadline is effectively done. I don't think there's anything else that I want to trade. I mean, Dorian Waite has been pretty bad this year, and he's not been great in the past. But it looks like he's just had some really bad luck. Because if we take a look over here, his actual FIP is significantly lower. He's basically the same pitcher he was last year. He's just getting knocked around a bit more because he's just getting hit more often. If you look at his BABIP, it's quite a bit higher than it's ever been before. I mean, it's still the kind of guy that I'm not going to spend a lot of money on to keep, but he is still a useful pitcher, and so I'm not going to throw that particular baby out with the bathwater. Tom Ramey's been very good. I'm going to have a lot of money to spend next year because at the very bare minimum, Will Levy is not getting his contract back. If he's going to turn into a relief pitcher, that's fine. I don't mind that. But he's going to be getting a hell of a lot less money to do it. I'm not paying $40 million to a reliever. It's such a one, it's not even that good. Jonathan Hedgecock, you would like to come back. I don't think that I want you back yet. I'm not convinced anyway. Alright. Let's kick the tires on it and see if we get any decent offers, but I doubt that we will. Juan Cardenas has played in the major leagues, you fools. You foolish fools. And that means no bueno. Edward Day is not good enough. I would do this for Salgado and Ontiveros. Do I have to take Aaron Skelton from you? Oh, does Salgado have major... No, Salgado's have major league experience. Yeah. I'll be completely honest with you. If we can get Salgado in particular and Ontiveros on the side, I feel pretty good about this trade. What is it going to take, though? It's going to take a fair bit. What if I gave you guys $5 million? What about that? You don't like it as much anymore? You're like, this isn't very good. 7 million? I can't give you as much money as you probably want. What about 8 million is going to be my final offer here? Nope. Then it's now $0. Why do you want Salgado? Why did you want me to take the other guy? If it's literally just a matter of this guy costs me money and we don't want him anymore, then maybe I can take him and then just cut him. I think that's fair, right? He's never playing for me, technically. What was the original offer for? Aaron Skelton? Yeah, I can release Skelton, or even... I think I could acquire Skelton and immediately trade him myself. Let's do that. Because I really like Salgado quite a lot. And I also think Ontiveros is pretty good, too. So we're going to complete this trade. Jonathan Anderson's a little bit sad that he's getting to depart, but that's fine. And then I'm immediately going to turn around and trade Skelton, because I didn't want him in the first place. If you want to say that I'm skirting the edge of what's acceptable... Hi, Jimmy Young. Hello, Jimmy Young. Oh, that might be the guy. This might very well be the guy. Fuck it, let's go. Jimmy Young is really, really good. I can ask for more prospects. I'm not opposed to additional prospects, but I genuinely think it's going to be Jimmy Young and nothing else. Which is fine for me. Like, if that's what we end up with, that's fine. Can I get Dutkovich? Here's the thing. I'm not keeping him. I was never keeping him. So this is just free stuff. It's essentially what it is. Think of it this way. It's basically a 3-team deal. Mike O'Neill is actually quite interesting in a lot of ways. I actually like him a lot. And I guess I'll trade for David Lopez too. And can I get Luis Gonzalez to get another young catcher in the system? Oh god, he's terrible. Never mind. Forget I said anything. Ramon Garcia is an okay first baseman, I suppose. Let's just pull the trigger. I think I'm just adding people for the sake of adding people at this point. Submit trade. I don't want this particular trade. I'm gonna skip to the next sim. Did he respond to me yet? Almost. Oh, literally I just tried again. He's like, okay, we're on board with it now. Whatever, guys. Give me my new catcher right now. Salgado to the minors. Oh, Salgado's got to have a 40-man roster deal. That's fine. Dukevich, Garcia, and Lopez. Where's my catcher, damn it? Jimmy Young, get in the major leagues. Dusty Lee, it was nice knowing you for a split second. Because Jimmy Young has not played a huge number of innings yet, I think letting him be the backup for the short term is fine, but I think he's a much better choice in the long term, for sure. So that's the catcher issue sorted, at least for a couple of seasons. What do I do with Salgado? I'd love for him to be in the majors, but I think he's better suited to be in the minors to start out with. He's used to pitching at altitude, and then we can call him up later. I need to make room in AAA, though. I have an exceptionally large number of outfielders, to be honest with you. Maybe too many outfielders. I think David Lopez I could just cut immediately. I mean, it's true that I just acquired him, but he's not that special. Any old guys? Zach Fomine is kind of old. We can let him go. I definitely need to keep Bill Gaston now because I did give up my one shortstop in Jimmy Anderson, so I think we don't want to lose him. Salgado goes to the minors. I've got to get rid of 3 of my minor leaguers here. Okay. Does somebody want Jake Miller? Can I get a prospect for him? That's a deal I'm willing to make for the right prospect. There's some good ones in here already. I do want more infielders in my system. I don't think Del Cueto here is the way to go, though. I could just get a ridiculous reliever and Phil O'Connell, and I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm not going to overthink this one. Let's do it. It does not actually change the perception here because I still need to put O'Connell somewhere, but we're making progress here. Where did we put O'Connell? Oh, we might have like sent him down to like the rookie league or something for some reason, which is, I guess, whatever. Oh, I suppose I should set, I don't want you guys. Yeah, Jake Miller can go to former Rockies. Phil O'Connell is now a dude. He's currently playing in the rookie league. That seems really dumb. Let's promote him to Double A, and then we can figure out how to fix the roster around him. Who here is the most cuttable? Ramon Garcia is not particularly exciting, but I just traded for him too. Yeah. I think William Jimenez is useful for a lot of reasons, but I think he's the kind of guy we just release at this point. I think I've got enough veterans that I don't mind them moving on. I don't want your shitty catcher, Padres. Even if this is pod racing, that's not what I'm into right now. I have a plethora of outfielders. I don't need this many. I think Andy Knox is interesting. I think his power is something we could find quite handy. We could say goodbye to David Lopez, but I just acquired him too. I think it's Andy Knox. I'm not saying he's not a great. I'm not saying he's not a good player, but I'm saying I don't think he'll ever be one for me. And then a double A guy's got to go. I can't give up any infielders, but I can say goodbye to Bruce Connors. All right, so that's all the roster stuff sorted out. I think we're just done at this point. I don't think there's anything particularly noteworthy here. Does Aaron Skelton get the coveted former Rockies tag? He gets the never Rockies tag because he never actually played for me. I would like to see actual 3-team deals happen in out of the park baseball, but I think it would be near impossible. People, stop offering me your shitty old players. I'm not into it anymore. I'm content with my current catching core, and then we can make adjustments in the off season, perhaps. That was a very surprisingly productive deadline. I don't know how it actually matters in the grand scheme of things. Like, I don't think we necessarily have changed our fortunes drastically, but I think we did better. I think we're a better, deeper team to have. Salgado alone is worth the price of admission. We have a disgusting, in a good way, quantity of pitchers that just need more opportunities. So I think you can definitely expect to see Santa Cruz leaving this offseason. Not that it makes a huge difference, but I think that's what's going to happen here. I think we need to get some of these younger pitchers need more opportunities, so we can find the next Wood Levy, we can find the next Danny Roque, we can find the next Ruben Santa Cruz. So I think there's definitely going to be a proper competition next season. John Cooper, okay. Stuff happened here, fine. We are in first. I would like us to be more in first, though. I would like us to do some damage to the Diamondbacks, and maybe I want that bye week. That's what I'm hunting for. I want that second bye week. So let's just win lots of games, and then we have the second bye week, and we can feel pretty good about ourselves. 3 weeks for Arguello is honestly not the end of the world, because it does mean one of these younger guys gets a chance to come up and start. I feel like Castro's the guy that I want to call up because of David Bennett's poor performance. Because he's still walking people even in AAA. He hasn't figured that part of the game out, despite the fact he should actually have very good control. But he has pitched effectively, and I do think bringing him back is sensible. I think John Castro's got a real opportunity, though, to be a great pitcher. And the fact that he's already been excellent in the minor leagues is why I'm going to promote Castro instead. Welcome to the major leagues, John Castro. We're glad to have you here. We could get rid of Jaden Hagwood. Hagwood has been replacement level and doesn't have a ton of AAA experience. Actually has lots of AAA experience. That's the problem with him. I think we just kind of ride with him for a little bit longer and see how he does. But for the moment, I'm pretty happy to see John Castro in the rotation. A guy that we acquired quite a long time ago. Boston just keeps feeding my rotation. I don't know why we have that kind of relationship, but we do. So it's only 3 weeks, and I actually value Arguello's performance in the postseason quite highly. So letting him get a bit of a break, especially comes back at his former level, makes me pretty happy. What does not make me happy is that we're in second place again. I feel like I cannot stress enough how important it would be for us to get the first round bye if we can manage it. Pete Wellborn losing velocity doesn't bother me that much. His velocity is already redonkulous, so losing a little bit doesn't annoy me. David Bennett got Pitcher of the Month. That's pretty exciting. Do I do roster expansion? So roster expansion just add a couple more people is fine. Getting David Bennett back in the majors is acceptable. We can let him be another emergency starter if we need it. I'd love to try to get another reliever in to get some more experience there. It could be Jason Nish's triumphant question mark return. I'm willing to give him another chance. Dusty Lee can come up as a third catcher. I'm not going to change the roster very much. This is just adding people in. And this is an acceptable expanded roster here. Dusty Lee, you get to be the third catcher. And pitching wise, Jason Nish, you're going to be the middle reliever that we only use in garbage time. Just to lengthen the bullpen a little bit, avoid injuries, and then we just continue on with the rest of our season here. Arguello returns, which is very welcome. John Castro has legitimately been pretty great. I think Arguello gets Hagwood's spot. And Hagwood gets to be an emergency starter for the rest of the season. I could just run a 6-man rotation, actually. Let's do that instead. Let's get Hagwood in as our 6th starter. But the rotation for the postseason is probably going to be Sarmiento, Jaquinde, and Santa Cruz. Or Arguello once we move into the 4-man rotation. Maybe Sarmiento doesn't get a postseason spot of prominence. Yeah, we're already out of the running for the first round bye, so we did win a lot of games this year, though, which is genuinely pretty surprising, but maybe not that much. What happened a lot last season is everything that could go wrong did go wrong with our offense, and this year the offense was actually pretty legit. Other than Yasukawa's complete vanishment, no, I can't use John Castro in the postseason. I would very much like to have his skill set on the postseason roster. All right. I want John Castro on the postseason roster, so we're going to remove Jason Nish. That's easy decision number 1. I am not carrying 3 catchers in the postseason. That's stupid. Do I want Paul Trice? Has Paul been hitting? He really hasn't, and I think Castellanos is better than he is. We'll add Paul Trice, I guess. We could let Santa debut in the postseason, which would be pretty funny. But I think it's going to be Trice. I think that's the correct move there. Do I want Phil Harbor left off the roster? I certainly don't want that. I'm carrying too many pitchers right now, so I think one pitcher could be left off quite profitably. David Bennett, we can leave him off the roster, and then we can bring along Harbor, who's been more useful to us as the season has progressed. Okay. The postseason roster, I think, only includes Sarmiento if he had a really great year last year in the postseason, which I don't remember if he did or not. Okay. Sarmiento, you were kind of trashed here this year, but I trust your postseason experience. 3-man rotation lets us pitch. I want Harbor middle relief. I want Jose Arguello as long relief, middle relief. And I want John Castro as emergency starter, long relief. Yeah, that's fine. The lineup doesn't change at all, I don't think. The only difference is we lose Santa Cruz as our third catcher. I do need to reset my my depth chart for my outfielders here. Has Travis Cooper been that bad? Travis Cooper has been reasonably acceptable. Yeah. That's fine. All right. Cooper's too important to the overall schema to be allowed to not play in the postseason here. Let's sim up to the next playoff round, shall we? No, we don't sim up to the next playoff round, do we? All right, Sarmiento, this is a disappointing regular season for you. Now's your chance to reclaim some of your cachet. Which you did do. You were clutch in the postseason when we needed you. Great start, Mr. Sarmiento. Let's see if we can keep up the momentum with Joaquin Day. We can and did. Great job, everybody. Mark Monroe wins himself a postseason MVP trophy. Was he World Series MVP? He was. Yeah. Cool. On to the next round. We are facing the Mammoths. Just kind of spooky. I'm not going to run 4-man yet. Actually, do I run a 4-man rotation? Am I so confident that Sarmiento is going to be great? I don't think I am. I think Mr. Arguello gets his rotation spot back. And I think this is the correct move. Yeah, it's the correct move. Santa Cruz gets roughed up a little bit, not too surprising. Sarmiento gets roughed up too. Well, save us Joaquin Day. Okay. All right. Arguello? Damn. So the Mammoths were a really good offense, so I'm not at all surprised that my pitching couldn't get it done. But the offense also crapped out, which is disappointing to say the least. 2 home runs all series is not good enough for our kind of team. Mark Monroe was entirely absent, so it's the postseason. Well, last year we got incredibly lucky and sailed to a World Series victory. This season we were a little bit less lucky. But still had a great season. Like 96 wins is legitimately great. I don't know how sustainable it is. I don't know whether this is just a lot of role players all got hot at the right time. Nick Savage is retiring. That's somebody who exists. But Miami was really, really good this year. So I am not at all surprised that that they're the ones bumping me out of the postseason. I would have liked to repeat if I'd been given the opportunity, but I didn't genuinely expect it. I knew that our pitching was going to be one of our weak points. I'm just glad that postseason Sarmiento got us out of the first round, which made me pretty happy. The Mammoths got upset by the Diamondbacks. And then the Mariners won the World Series. Congratulations to Seattle. Big congratulations. I think we need to very seriously consider revamping our rotation. I need more young pitchers getting more opportunities to show that we can find ourselves. The next Will Levy, the next Ruben Santa Cruz, the next something. Skelton got a 2-year extension from Boston. That's great for him, I suppose. All right. Will Levy? Absolutely not. Ruben Santa Cruz, I'm also going to say goodbye to you. Am I? Am I? How many captains do I have right now? Do I have an excessive number of captains? I do have many captains, so I think letting Ruben Santa Cruz go from that perspective is fine. I do have so many young pitchers that I want to give more opportunities to that I think I have to avoid his option as well. Yasukawa. Here's my dilemma. Oh, he's wrecked injury proneness. If you'll come back for less money, I will take Yasukawa back. That guy retired. People are leaving. The Yankees want to give me Matt Talley. Tally me banana. Matt Talley's okay. But not for Ardila and Antonio Hernandez. I would do it for just Hernandez if that's what you want. Legitimate nothing trade, but a trade that I'm willing to accept if that's what you're looking for. I want to very quickly, even though it's technically the end of the episode, I want to very quickly talk to Levy, Santa Cruz. I want to talk to Levy and Yasukawa. Levy wants to come back for basically no money. We're in. Will Levy was a perfectly acceptable middle reliever. Actually, a better than average middle reliever. And so having him back for $2 million a year, perfectly fine for me. What is Yasukawa? Yasukawa, you're fucking delusional. You are completely delusional. I think I'm going to offer him a qualifying offer, and then we'll talk about what our options are. Because I don't think he'll take it. I think he thinks someone's going to give him his 28 million, which he's not going to get. At least I don't think he will. Do I want to take this risk? Actually, I don't think that I do. I think we just negotiate with him over time. Here's what I would offer you, my friend. 3-year deal. I don't think I can even offer you $10 million, can I? No. He wants to get paid, and I'm not going to be the one to do it. Am I willing to give this to get a chance at a draft pick? OSA thinks he's still really good. It's not that he's a bad player, he's just ridiculously overpaid, and he can't stay healthy anymore. So I think re-signing him would be the height of foolishness. Santa Cruz, I'm not going to keep you, even if you do take a pay cut. So, I mean, I guess I could keep him, right? He is good. And I guess the value of keeping him is that way we're not turning over too much of the rotation. I've got a lot of really young, really talented pitchers, though, that need opportunities that are consistent. Yeah. I could turn into like a super swingman, I suppose. He could be like the sixth starter, the guy that spot starts and relieves. I guess that's fine. Give me a team option for year 2. Like, there's always a chance you can bottom out entirely, and I don't want to be on the hook for that. But yeah, if you're that much of a team player, Santa Cruz, I will bring you back. Yasukawa wants to get paid a lot of money. Still a very good shortstop. But I don't know. Let's offer some minor league extensions while we ponder our orb. Jonathan Hedgecock is going to insist on a major league extension, which he's not going to get. Offer a bunch of other people here extensions, though, just for funsies. And then that's it. All right. Do we offer Yasukawa a qualifying offer? I don't think so. I think that would be very, very foolish because there's a chance that he takes it. If he takes it, is it that terrible, though? I don't think it is that terrible. Is it a lot of money? Yes, but it's actually less money than he's making right now. I think I will make this offer. If we get to free agency and he doesn't take the qualifying offer, fine. But I'm not technically like over on the shortstop options. He's still the best shortstop on the roster. Gaston is fine. If I've got to let Gaston play for a season, I can. But we're like a ways away from our really good shortstops being ready for the major leagues. Jordan Yeager, number one with a bullet in that particular list. So, yeah. Yasukawa's been so good for so long, but I can't justify giving him what he wants, which is basically an extension of his current contract at the same value. He's not the same guy. He's not. The only reason I'm even getting him the qualifying offer is that has so much money that it doesn't matter. It genuinely doesn't matter. So, you want Mark Monroe signed to an extension, do you? I have so much money, right, that I guess it doesn't actually matter too much. Can I get a second team option? If I get two team options, I think this deal is fine. We'll do it. He's being overpaid quite a lot at the end of that deal, but I think we're getting a very nice bargain on it right now. And that gives me more flexibility to spend money on other things. So let's break down this season. Let's see who was the big contributors. Mark Monroe was phenomenal as always. I think Mark Monroe is going to be one of the best players to never win an MVP because his skills are exceptional in every facet of the game, and people tend not to do very well in all-around competitions. Um, he's just phenomenal. He's just phenomenal. He's a league average second baseman. He's not great at it, but that's okay. We could move him to third if we wanted. I think he'd be a very excellent third baseman. Not a shortstop, I think. I think his range is not quite what I'd like for that, but the guy was literally worth 6 wins, so I can't complain too much. If this is the real Ken McMartin, then I'm very, very happy that we have him. But it's hard to argue with the fact that just last season he was kind of a liability. So if this is the real Ken McMartin, then I'm happy to have him on the team, and we'll be very lucky to have him. Jeff Polson got paid. He's a little overpaid, but not by that much. Keeping Polson and Monroe together feels pretty good. Arguelles is by far the guy that I don't expect to ever do this ever again. I'm happy that we got him. I'm delighted that he was such a key contributor. This is not him, and I don't think he'll ever do this again. But at least for now, we know that we have a very solid DH for space type. Will Meyer had a pretty solid season. He got to play every day for once. And I think he's a legitimately skilled everyday outfielder. Travis Cooper, pretty darn good. Not perhaps his past skill level, but he's still very good at his job. He's still stealing bases. He's still playing defense. And that's why he's here. If he hits, it's great. But if he doesn't hit, it doesn't bother me all that much. If Yasukawa would take a deal like this one, I would happily give it to him. Sean Zelaya ended up having a pretty okay year. Is he the first base solution we've been so desperate to find? Maybe. Maybe he is, and maybe he isn't. But he was an above-average hitter, and for now, I'll take it. Remember that because he's a first baseman, he does get a penalty to his WAR, so he has to be exceptional offensively. I think it was merely just pretty good. Avila was fine. I think he's going to get a chance to play. God, that strikeout rate. I think with Mr. Jimmy Young, I think there's no reason to play Avila next year. I think Jimmy Young is a very well-rounded catcher. He's pretty good defensively, and I think that's important to me. In a way that Avila, I just question his ability to be consistently very good. His problem is going to be the problem of so many other people, this ridiculous strikeout rate. 10 home runs is great, but it's not enough when you strike out as often as you do. So I think there's a very realistic chance where Avila becomes just a backup for his entire career. Let's talk pitching. How did our pitching do? Ricardo Jaquinde, I think we can properly say, has arrived. He's still got even more room to grow, but what I see so far, I like very much. Dave Crawford is truly amazing. We got to save some money definitely to keep him around, but for right now, I'm just in awe of how good he was this season in our bullpen. Sarmiento was fine. He's still not quite what he used to be, and I know he's going to want a pretty substantial raise, and I think we'll give him at least a short-term raise. But I don't think he's got a permanent spot in this rotation, especially how ineffective he was this year. What changed most between, last year and the year before? He just got hit more. And unless he's also striking people out and keeping the ball down, then he's not good enough, unfortunately, to give up more hits. Santa Cruz was fine, Waite was fine, Remy was fine, Levy was fine, Castro was fine. Arguello was a little bit less fine this year. His super richly acceptable ERA is concealed by the fact he was actually supremely lucky. Look, again, a world in which he becomes a dynamic reliever is still one in which we're getting more than our money's worth, so it's fine. Jason Nish and Alberto Macias are both pretty terrible. Macias is going to the minors. Once his Rule 5 time expires, he's going directly to the minor leagues without a single second's hesitation because he was clearly not ready to pitch in Colorado. But yeah, I think there's a lot to like about this team. I think our lineup is very, very deep, which is excellent news. I'd love to get more power. I think the fact we finished 10th in home runs for the fact we play in Colorado is kind of absurd. But I don't really have power on the roster. I think we just settled for having very, very good players and then maybe didn't address the lack of power. Polson's pretty good. We got a bunch of guys that are like 15, 20 home run power. We don't have a big thumper, though. Is there a big thumper waiting for us in the minor leagues? Not really. Santa's pretty good. He's a pretty good dude. But yeah. We could also turn around and trade some pitching to try to get an elite offensive hitter. But I think we'll save that for next episode. This episode has gone on quite long. So I hope you're enjoying the series, my friends. If you are, please remember to leave a like and subscribe. Comment down below, and until next time, this has been Guardian. Thank you for watching, and I bid you good day.